a map, but pieces were missing. The piece formed a new route. It was the same place as before, but how? An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. There were memories here, bound in rock. I hear their voices echo in the ancient stone. I find footprints by the cinders, a makeshift camp. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundations. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. Ember found a scrap of journal. I heard them coming. The snap of a twig, a flutter of birds. A figure dashing through the undergrowth. Another like me? The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. gradually more of the map was revealed. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? The stranger spoke. You know, part of me didn't want to be found. I said some things I shouldn't have. And now I'm lost. And it's too late. The skeleton looked peaceful. Held tightly in its hand was a red feather. The statue spoke. Just the instrument you now hold has the power to move the world around you. Another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. Hidden inside was the Wanderer's journal. Another face at last. A catcher of fish resting by a pond. We work together, silk and tar and aching fingers. My boat floats once more, though I almost wish to stay. Inside was a secret diary entry. Pink, orange, red, brown, leaves gently dancing to the ground. Crunch, crackle, lovely sound, fall into a giant mound. There was one last place to reach on the map. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. travelers seem distressed. I'm sure it's fine. They'll be okay. But it's been a while since... It's my fault. The fog was so blinding, Ember was turned around. Ember felt a great relief to be out of the mist. Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. A sleeping pig. Trotters in the air. They looked happy. The plant looked like it could take a hand off. And it was in Ember's way. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, what's that delicious smell? Ember shuffled nervously. Other embers fed me treats, but then stopped. You feed me now. It was junk. Maybe the pig would eat some junk. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Surprising, a little sparky, but tingly in belly. But what I want is something more fruity. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. You feed me now. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Fruity, fresh, but tastes a lot like mud. But what I want is something with more crunch. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot see far enough to tell. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Crunchy, embery, not much meat, bit too bony. But what I want is, the pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been so afraid of. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig looked a lot less imposing. The pig shouted joyously. "The water feels so good on the skin. Join me, morsel." The pig seemed happy, but Ember wasn't getting too close. Why do I consume whatever people put in front of me? I need some true nourishment, but there's none left here. But so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally think. Thank you, morsel. Ember thought about the pig. Fed to bursting by others, but without nourishment. Who had the pig been before? Ember wondered. Cheerily, the stranger said, "Don't say much, little friend, do you? Remind me of one of those golem statues. Stood there, mouth open. I like you." A stone golem frozen in the lake, a relic from a forgotten time. The stranger couldn't take on more. The time to grow had passed. The strangers stretch their limbs. Perhaps it is not too late after all. Ember watched as the helpful piggy cleared the path. Ember found a secret note from the Wanderer. Something beckons. This place is not home. I trace the map in my head, recite the older myths. I have to move on. The pot had turned cold. The fire had died. Nothing the cook made felt good enough. Endlessly stirring the same tasteless pot. Couldn't focus, sleepwalking through the days. In the eye of the storm, a fragile flicker. They wanted to serve something perfect. The praise of others was hollow. The cook felt numb and hurt all at once. The cook spoke softly. "Oh, hello, little one. I didn't see you. I must have lost myself for a moment." It's supposed to be my new soup recipe. But it's not ready. It's not done. A wonderful smell wafted towards Ember. "You look starving, poor thing. Have a little taste, but it's not right yet." It was the most beautiful thing Ember had ever tasted. I know. It's got no flavor, nothing special. Ember wished the cook would believe them. Oh, I'd forgotten how good it feels feeding folk. But it's not ready. There's no need to pretend just to make me feel better. The cook stirred their soup, looking at Ember looking at the pot, staring, thinking. Soon, maybe. Oh, I used to love this. Just want to be good at it. But it feels like I'm making the same things over and over. Nothing has flavor. I'm stuck. If you know what you want, I can try. But I really need some better ingredients. Something from the orchard could have worked, if it was still standing. Oh. The cooks struggle to hold back their emotions. Pigs have gotten in me orchard, planted every sapling I did. All me hard work ruined. Take the key and have a look yourself. I can't bear to. See if anything is left, but I promise you, there won't be. The stranger was afraid. They couldn't see what lay ahead. Ember saw their own fear reflected in the stranger. The darkness hungered for them all. The little ember spoke hesitantly. How do you continue, never knowing if we'll reach the end? Cheerily, the stranger said, "Don't say much, little friend, do you? Remind me of one of those golem statues. Stood there, mouth open. I like you." Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. The ghost spoke. "Hope has returned to a forlorn. I will warm them until they choose to move on." Ember looked to the ghost for answers. "This is the hollow marsh. Here hope was consumed before it could flourish. You must not lose hope, or you too will turn forlorn." Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. The Forest King watches the doors. The campfire will light the way. Find those who are lost. Bring embers to the fire. There are others lost along their journey. Find them and I will guide them. Travel wisely. Return if you have lost your way. Ember found a lost message. The smell of hot broth and hearty stew wafts across the swamp. By the cook's pot I meet another. They are on their own path, but we promise to meet again. Through the mist, Ember could feel they were being watched. Inside was a scrap of journal. In the orchard, I meet the stranger from the cook's fire, a stranger no longer. Together we fill their satchel, food and memories for the road ahead. The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. The Wanderer's Diary. An ancient throne sits empty. No one remains to guide or protect, but we do not mind. My companion shelters with me now. We cannot help those left behind. The stranger knew they had to move on. Behind was forever closed. They tried so hard to see it all. To leave now seemed unbearable. The stranger stared past Ember. I'm almost ready. Let me sit a little longer. I will catch up. I promise. The stranger said excitedly, I've not heard a lanthorn play in a long time. Magical sound a lanthorn makes. Your whole body moves. Let me tell you, I plays a good lanthorn. The orchard gate was locked and needed a key. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. The cook was right. The pigs had destroyed everything. Ember found the Wanderer's diary. We stop by the warmth of another campfire. The guardian spirit provokes us, asks what we hope to resolve. I do not understand the question. My companion is silent. The pig devoured the fruit with careless abandon. The frog seemed nervous, but also relieved to see Ember. They told Ember that the birds had let all the pigs into the orchard, and that the pigs had eaten all whilst the birds watched and laughed. Except one precious thing the frog had managed to keep safe. The frog offered the lotus seeds to Ember. They pleaded for Ember to take the lotus seeds to their old friend the cook, as the frog knew how important good ingredients were in hard times. The stranger closed their eyes and let the fog overwhelm them. Soft, gentle fog, it held them like a vice. The mist could not be pushed, would not be fanned away. The stranger spoke. The fog didn't choose me, it just was. I hope it never closes on you, friend. The stranger couldn't face themselves. They'd never meant any harm. The stranger couldn't face themselves. It just hurt to be outshone. Never meant any harm. The stranger couldn't face themselves. It just hurt to be outshone. It never meant any harm. The stranger couldn't face themselves. It just hurt to be outshone. It never meant any harm. hurt to be outshone. The stranger couldn't face themselves. It had been easier just to turn aside. The stranger searched Ember's face. Is there hope for me, do you think? Will I make it? The stranger puzzled over their journey. Some steps felt effortless. Twisted by unseen. Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you. We all help each other along the path." Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you." Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you. We all help each other along the path." Hello there. I can't believe... Where did you... I've never cooked with lotus seeds before. Ember felt happy seeing the cook suddenly so full of purpose. What a lovely surprise! What a lovely surprise! Please try some. It's not much, but there's plenty to go around. Help yourself. Be well, little one. And do remember me if you are ever hungry. The pig was joyous. What is this morsel? My insides feel as refreshed as my outsides. I did not dream such food was possible. We will plant a garden of treats. We will grow and eat like piggy kings. Compliments to the chef. The ghost said, "You have done all you can, little one. Your journey lies ahead. You have done well to get this far, little one. I will clear the path ahead for you." You have seen another watching over you. They know the secrets of this place. Seek them out. The forlorn was cold to the touch, different to the others. The stranger spoke. "Thank you for coming to help. I can't let another in right now." Ember shared a moment with the forlorn and hoped they would find what they needed. The painting was the same as Ember had seen before. Two embers shone clearly in the daylight now, their journey ahead. Ember uncovered a journal entry. "Naughty piggy, simple piggy, so easily teased with fruit. They are no help until they are fed. A few grow fat, wobbling on their trotters. Well now, we've been looking everywhere for you. Oh, fun, over the wall they goes. Hope you have a good excuse for running off, Scab." Ember's heart sank. Ember told the birds about all they had seen in the marsh, pleading for their help. Save your made-up stories for the Forest King. Oh yes, yes, tell the lies to the king. Ember felt nervous standing before the king again. Frustrated, the Forest King said, "You must rest now. You give false hope. Try and fail and hurt. This is all there is." Ember could feel the Forest King looking right through them. This end, there no more. Why not stop? Let go of this. You must stay. No more foolish hope. Last chance. Take key now. Make sure gates are locked. Let no more in. Let no more out. Ember took the key. What choice did they have? Yeah, this really is your last chance. Don't betray the Forest King again. The crossroads gate was locked. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. Eagerly, Ember left the birds behind, glad to be free. The traveller whispered, "Used to be a river all round here. Watched the birds build the dam night and day. Took them forever. They had no clue what they were doing. It was hilarious." Ember was at the entrance to a dark cave. The smell of stale water oozed like it had once been flooded, but now was bone dry. Excitedly, the stranger said, "Look, it's Iron Claw. Friend, this crab is the terror of the marsh. Together we can trap him." I've got a plan, been waiting for someone to help. You help me, and I'll help you. Try lowering the crab over here with the chum in that bucket. Crab is all yours. Didn't plan any further than this. Look at that claw though, friend. Could do some real damage. Ember thought of the pigs from the marsh. Someone had tightly sealed the dam's mouth. Ember wondered what secrets it might spill. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. Hands encircled around the evening fire, merry lanthorn tunes, singing out the promises of old. Will home be as we remember? The stranger pondered. I just wanted to fix things, to help get the water flowing again. But I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Bellows breathed life into the fire beneath the boiler. But it would take more air to fully stoke the fire. Did something. I think there's one more of those valve things. believe you did it. I hope we don't get in trouble for this. What a satisfying rush the dam waters burst. Ember really did hope they wouldn't be in trouble. With everything flooded again, Ember wondered if now they could reach the entrance of the cave. Freed from the mud, the boat looked inviting. The boat was a perfect fit for Ember. It felt like they were on the right path at last. Ember found a scrap of journal. The lanthorn wards off ghosts and fear. It shapes the world as we wish it. I urge my companion to rest, but still they stare into the fire. The passageway was dark and eerily silent. Ember wondered why the dam had been blocked.